Hey, what is going on, guys? It is Young here, and today I'm back in another Fortnite video. And in today's video, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to be as good as possible here in Season 10 and absolutely dominate and to win as many games as you possibly can. I have some really good tips in this video that I think everybody should be using if they want to be very good here for Season 10. And before we get into the video, I have a V-Buck giveaway. If you guys want a chance to win some free V-Bucks, all you guys have to do is to drop a like on the video. Make sure you guys subscribe to my channel and as well subscribe to my second channel. The link for that will be in the description or the pinned comment. Turn on my post notifications and as well comment down below your Xbox gamer tag, your PSN gamer tag, or Epic account. And as well, if you guys would like to support me in the item shop, all you guys have to do is go over to the item shop, go down to support a creator, type in my code is Young Humor, and you guys will have me added and supported as a creator. I really do appreciate all you guys who do add me. And alright guys, let's go right to the video. Alright, so in this video, I wanted to be talking about how you can absolutely dominate here in Season 10, and there's going to be a few things that you guys have to know and have to do if you want to be able to do so, and also pretty easily, because there's really a few key things I want to cover, because the difference between Season 9 and Season 10 really isn't too much. The only major differences is maybe they vaulted a few of the weapons that some of you guys may have used. Most of them were just like smoke bombs, and if you guys who play competitive, you used them all the time. But for public matches, no one ever really used smoke bombs. I think they took out the semi-auto sniper, just weapons like that no one ever really used that much. So nothing really that major. But they did put in the robots, which is absolutely crazy. That's definitely something I want to talk about in this video pretty quick, because I did mention it in my previous video where I talked about the different and best ways to go about when it comes to killing the robot, because I think that's one of the most important things you have to do, or maybe just some different ways to really counter it if you want to be able to be very good in Season 10, because that's just something you have to deal with on a game-to-game basis, and they're probably not going to take it out till Season 11. Maybe they update it, maybe they nerf it a little bit, who knows, but this is one of those things that's probably going to be in for the rest of the season, so you just have to know how to counter it. And also I could talk about different rotations, and there hasn't been too much, but definitely there's one other thing that you want to consider is the factories they put into the game. It's pretty much a hot spot now. I mean, Dusty pretty much was, because a lot of people were going to it. It was the middle of the map. But definitely for sure, factories is a place where you're going to see a lot of people and a lot of the robots just kind of migrate to during the middle of the game. So that's definitely a hot drop in this game. I mean, even off spawn, but definitely during the middle of the game, you're going to see a lot of people in that location. So when it comes to fighting off the robots, or really the best way to counter it, there's going to be a few different ways you want to go about it. And like I said, I touched on it quite a bit in my previous video, but basically you really only have like 4 options when it comes to fighting it. Either you can shoot the top part, which is the player who's going to be in the gunner. You have the option to self-destruct it, so you can run over to it. And solos, this works very well. You run over to it, jump in it, and then self-destruct it. You can do that. Or you can shoot the player in the middle. And if you want to shoot the player in the middle, you have to be facing towards the mecha. It can't really just be facing a different direction. It has to be facing towards you. And of course, if it's boosting or jumping, it's going to be very hard to hit that player in the middle, so that can be an issue. But there's 2 other things that I think are going to be something that I really didn't touch on too much, but I think it's the most important thing you can do if you're not really the best player to try to fight those type of things, because you have to have really good positioning. You have to keep your distance a little bit. And duos, if you want to fight it, a really good option and a really good way to fight it is you have one player go one direction, you have another player go a different direction. So the players and the robot kind of have to choose which player that they want to fight, and the player that they're trying to fight can easily just try to run away and try to dodge it, while the other player just lights it up with a bunch of AR rounds until it breaks, because like I said, it does have 1,000 HP, so you do have to consider that, unless you're able to just beam the guy who's in the middle. But the 2 things that can set you apart when it comes to just being really good in Season 10 and fighting the robot and just being really consistent is you can do 2 things. One thing I always do, and that's at least carry 1 launch pad. And I always want to carry 1 launch pad just in case, really any situation. Maybe I'm in a gunfight, the other player that I'm fighting has complete advantage, I'm low on HP, I need to get away. Or if I have a robot coming in, I'm low on mats, I'm not really equipped to fight it, and I could easily just pop a launch pad and go across the map as fast as possible. So especially for season 10, I highly recommend that you guys carry a launch pad just in case any one of those things happen, which is bound to happen. And if you guys are getting about 6 or 7 kills a game, maybe even 8, you should at least be finding 2 to 3 launch pads per game. It's really not too difficult because they increased the drop of them probably like a few months ago. But it's not too bad. You should be able to find quite a bit of launch pads throughout the game. And I've had a ton of games where me and my teammate both had 4 launch pads, and we didn't have that crazy of kills. We probably had maybe like 15 total. I had like 10. He has like 5 or 6. Not too crazy, but for 8 launch pads, that's pretty insane. So you can find launch pads really easily. So as long as you're holding on to one, you should be good. Because if you're out of launch pads, you're out of quick mobility, then that could be kind of an issue. And it's kind of risky too, especially if you do have a launch pad before. Because once you use it, just in case anything happens, you pretty much have to fight that player. And especially if the robot comes in, you have no other choice but to fight it. Even if you're low on HP, low on mats, you really don't have too much of a choice. There's not really too many options you can do. Because that thing can straight go through buildings or anything, and there's not really anything you can do about it. So that's why I always recommend carrying a launch pad. I think that's one of the most important and crucial things you can do, especially here for Season 10. And another thing you can always do that I think is going to be very beneficial for a lot of you guys is just going to be carrying a boogie bomb. And because you can easily find these, and it's not really too hard. Usually off spawn, you'll at least find at least one time you'll get it for a chest. And what these are really good for is when it comes to fighting the robot, easily you just throw one at them and they both come out of the robot and they get hit by the boogie bomb. So that's really one of the best ways you can counter something like that. Always carry a boogie bomb. It could be very beneficial. For me, I like to carry 2 heals, but sometimes I have to give that up to carry a boogie bomb because it's just so much helpful. Because I've had so many games where I've literally had max HP, max materials. I was so set. I had a ton of shield. And then I got absolutely destroyed and ripped of all my HP by another robot. Happens all the time, so carrying a boogie bomb can save you a lot of games and just really help you guys win a lot just more consistently, because you can have the best game ever, but like I said, you go into a fight with a robot that has missiles, and even if you turbo build, it's going right through it. It's still going to hit you. It's going to hit you for 100 damage, and a lot of times it can kill you right on the spot. So that's just why I always consider carrying something like that. I think it's really important and also very beneficial to do so. If you ever feel like you're constantly losing to the robot, that's definitely the best thing you can do, is always carry a boogie bomb. So whenever you're fighting one, just chuck one boogie bomb and you should be set. And I'm pretty sure one thing you can do is once you set the boogie bomb that come out of it, I'm pretty sure you could honestly just snag the robot if you want to, self-destruct it, or use it against them. Kind of your choice, but it does give you a significant advantage during the fight if you can carry a boogie bomb. And just the way Season 10 is, when it comes to the end of the game, if you want to be extremely consistent, win as many games as possible in the end game, you're going to have to, you absolutely have to have the best positioning possible. If not, you're going to be losing 9 times out of 10. So one of the easiest ways you can have the best positioning is, like I said at the halfway through the video, you can carry a launch pad. So if you're fighting the last team, you can use a launch pad to go for high ground, which is always a really good way and a really good method to get high ground. I think that's exactly what I used here in this gameplay. That you had the 2 people camping on top. They both had the robots. They were sitting up there in their base. And I think me and my teammate both had like 3 or 4 launch pads. So we were set on launch pads. Wasn't that big of a deal. We easily just used a launch pad, jump over to them, use the launch pad to get on top of the hill. And that way we didn't have to worry about getting absolutely hammered with missiles and them just shooting down at us, ripping all our HP, ripping all our shield off. So we use launch pads to our advantage to get on high ground, and that's why I highly recommend carrying a launch pad, especially in the end of the game. Very helpful. Easily, I just use a launch pad and I'm already on high ground. I didn't have to go through the whole process of just trying to ramp up, getting shot, losing a bunch of HP, losing all of my shield, and then continuing the process till I run all the way up. Use one launch pad and then I'm automatically on high ground. One of the best things you can do, carrying a launch pad at all times. I can't stress it enough. Definitely, I think that's one of the main things you guys can do, and really the easiest thing too. It doesn't require you having to really take a lot of time to improve, like when it comes to aiming or building. It's something you can easily just remind yourself to do every game, and it could just play such a huge role when it comes to winning a lot of games very easily. And with that being said, that's a wrap up for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you guys liked it, make sure you guys do drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, turn on my post notifications so you guys are notified for every single new video. And alright guys, I'll see you next video.